Welcome everyone to the final heat of the Club Championship on the 20th of February 2022. Welcome from wherever you are around the world. Special welcome to Pat Langley from Vycobi, who's an extraordinary sponsor and supporter of sailing no matter of what type. Welcome, Pat.
Jimmy, thanks for having me back again. I feel very privileged to be here today, and what a great day it is.
Love having you here, and joining me in commentary today is my good old mate, Andrew Buckland. Bucko, how are you?
Better than good, but that's only my view, okay?
There's a first. Bucko, how's things, mate? What do you know?
Well, good solid nor'easter, ebb tide. We'll have a straw poll. How many people won't be on the riding lever today, Jimmy?
Very short.
Very short list?
Yep.
How many? Put your hand up. How many?
5, 6, 7.
Pat?
I'm with Jimmy.
5, 6, 7. That's what I would have guessed too, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, well, at least we're all in the
Something
greens.
like that. The wind, it's pre-frontal gradient nor'east, funneling down the harbour, probably 12 to 18. Maximum ebb tide around start time. Hot water, land temperatures out the back in the west about 30, so we'll expect a bit of build and plenty of bump. Good stuff.
Real classic day, isn't it? And just previous to this, we were watching the Etchells. They're just competing the state championships here, and we'll keep an eye on what they're up to on their racing. And I think it's a pretty good indication of how we're going to see the racing for us today in terms of where they're going on the racetrack.
Yeah, on essentially the same course axis. Quite interesting, isn't it? But for the viewers, last heat, as we mentioned, only two boats can win, Tech 2 and Yandu. Tech 2's got a good solid margin, and the reason that they're the only two boats that can win, they've both got big discards, a DNF and a almost last place respectively. And both those teams at full strength. But Jimmy, plenty of changes in the fleet. Otherwise, some of the crews in the Etchell race that we just talked about.
Yep. So starting from the top, Andu, you got James Doran and Angus Williams filling in for Sevi and for Sevi Jarvin and Sam Newton. On the Burrawang Hotel for Simon Noon, you got Jim Cooley. Filling in on the bow on the Fisher Pike is Sam Monkhouse. Ilvy's as normal. Then Shore and Partners, we've got Leo Takahashi jumping on the helm there, and Charlie Zeman filling in. And welcome to our German team, who will be sailing the Vintech Noakes / signage boat. Once we figure out who they are, we'll let you know. But I think they've got Vintech on their sails today, which is Henrik van Bayern. And the Thomas Martin and Andy Martin are sailing on that one. So be welcome to those boys.
And they will endeavour to have their sail sign fixed up in time for the Giltman meet. I discussed that with the Prince this morning.
The Prince? All right. Is that what we're going to call him for the month?
The German Prince.
The German Prince. He's got the label.
All right. Been
Love
branded.
It. Love it.
Branded. Today's race sponsor, Fisher & Paykel, the pretty famous, originally New Zealand
White goods
company, a fabulous, innovative producer of very nice kitchen appliances.
They go forever, that Fisher & Paykel. It's fantastic stuff.
Yeah. So, folks, the committee, Jimmy, we're on course number 1. Who would have thunk?
Number 1 course. How good's that? The Nor'east course, and a decent nor'easter. As mentioned, all boats are on Little Rig, and might as well have a quick look at the course now. And course 1, which is a nor'easter, we start down near Clark Island, or just up from Clark Island at the moment, near the blue mark you'll see on the screen. This is a new little innovation. We go work our way all the way up to the Bisha Boy up near South Head, then the red mark, and then set spinnakers and run down around Shark Island where the yellow mark is, down to the blue mark, drop their spinnakers, work back up to the red mark, run straight back down here to the blue mark, back up to the top, round the red, back around Shark Island, and finish off Clark Island. So, yeah, these are new little maps that we've put together, or Chits has put together for us, which gives people a little bit of a better view of where we are located on Sydney Harbour in relation to some of the landmarks that Sydney Harbour offers.
So, Pat, you've seen enough 18-footer racing now. You would be able to tell us, wouldn't you? The bumpy water is where?
the bumpy water, well, mate, it's all on this shore here where we've got all these seawalls, mate. It's bumpy as anything on the right here.
That and Nielsen Park, right?
And Nielsen's Park, yeah.
And Jimmy, the biggest trick today is what?
Don't go where the wind ain't.
No, the jibe angle into the back of Shark.
The jibe angle into the back of Shark, because like the breeze is a little bit more in the north. It's going to, the guys have got to really pick their moment. It's going to be, I reckon, about an 8 boat length wide line that they've got to get that jibe in. And then once they get around Shark Island, then they've got to, give themselves enough breathing space off Shark Island. Shark Island's not that high of an island in all essence, but it still does cast quite the shadow.
Well, Jimmy, as we've noted, the top of the pine trees is about 100 feet.
Yep.
And the pine trees make plenty of high quality friction.
Yeah.
That's how we think about it.
Plenty of races won and lost coming through there.
Exactly. And so even if you've started well and gone up the beat well, it is a tricky little 0.8 of a mile leg.
I think we could see some action around there, some passing lanes.
Yeah.
What about the angle coming into Shark around that Nielsen Park there today? What's your thoughts there?
What we're saying is, you have to judge that angle carefully and correctly, and the breeze got enough north in it today that they'll be sailing further towards the harbour bridge before they drive.
Yep.
So geographically different, but the guys with the right angles in their heads will sort it out. I think, Pat, the other point to note about this course, and I'm not particularly sure why it is, except that obviously the beat is 2 miles long and there's 3 of them. It's a course on which fatigue is much more of a factor than most of the other courses. And, a lot of the figure 8 courses, it seems that the variety tends to not be so fatiguing. But 3 big long beats, by the last beat, definitely the troops into lactic acid territory and, metabolically past the hour and a half of sailing. And we've seen today also crews come out and do a sort of nearly a whole practice lap, and I'm just not sure that that's the right answer.
Yeah, but I guess, for some of these crews, if you talk about particularly Andu, you've got James Doran and Gus coming in to fill in. I guess they've got to get themselves on the pace, and obviously that boat's going so well at the moment. They don't want to disappoint.
Yeah, no, fair enough, and their purpose might not necessarily be, they're not quite so concerned about winning the race. But here we go.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
Flags are up on the committee boat.
4:40 to go, thereabouts.
4:40 or thereabouts.
And lactic acid, talking about that, Pat, you had the bridge to beach this morning with the Shore and Partners Vycobi paddle.
Mate, we did,
contest.
yeah. We had the Shore and Partners Bridge to Beach Ocean Classic. Well, it wasn't Ocean Classic, the Harbour Classic, I should say. Had 450 competitors. Started at 8 a.m, so it was an early start, but it was great spectacle. So, for me, I've just had a cracking day. I've had a great morning on the harbour, and now we've got the best afternoon you could ever want on the harbour.
There's your 4 minutes. Listening from home, and g'day to Shippo if you're tuning in, brother. Thinking of you. We'll see you next week.
And we're also thinking somewhat of our friends in the UK who've had a bit of fresh air lately. I hope you're all...
Just a tad fresh, yeah. I hope everyone is safe and the family's all safe over there.
Yeah.
Incredible scenes coming out of there. So, there was actually a pretty good video of a guy, plane spotter in England, and he puts all these funny comments up of planes landing, which, be nerve-wracking being on the plane, but the plane's all landed, like a lot with plenty of go-arounds.
Oh,
And there's one of the Senator Hobart yacht, Stefan, which used to be the Bogest 80.
I'm assuming he's going to slide through this gap between us and the committee vessel.
I think they're just out for a bit of a corporate day by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's up the risk curve a bit there, Pat, isn't he? We're about 1 boat length away from the committee boat, and there's an 80-footer going through the middle. Yes, interesting.
Nothing quite says like, oh yeah, no, we're right.
We're right, Jack. Anyway, Jimmy, this start line, we know this racetrack, right?
Well, we used to know this
What's
racetrack.
it-
We've only had one go of it other than
No,
today.
that's right. But the rule remains. First boat to Bradley's Head should win the race.
Should.
Should.
But with this little bit of north, the guys that start down near the pin are going to have to be careful of that wind shadow down underneath Bradley's as
but
well.
I think there's enough current that being out first will still be the winner, mate. Big time. Tide probably ebbing at about 1.5 right now, right across the racetrack.
And you know it's going to be real hot, Bucko. All the Etchells are just about to jibe off.
Yeah.
Off Bradley's coming down to their bottom mark, which isn't far from ours.
Yeah.
So
Just inside 2 minutes.
be prepared for some yelling and screaming every which way from Sunday, I think.
And the line looks long enough just for the fleet.
Who are you liking, Pat? Being the guest, you get to go first.
Well, thank you, mate. I'll take that. Look, I think the three guys, or three teams, I should say, that are gearing up, that are really starting to put their best foot forward for the JJs. You've got, Coco on Smeg. You've got obviously Jack on Tech 2, and then the Andu boat. I think even with Doro on board, will be very competitive. I think that boat's going very well. So they're probably my three picks at the moment. How about you, Bucko?
Yeah, I'd be pretty similar, mate.
Even Coco said he's on his annual, shedding a few kilos regime and starting to get down to his fighting weight. So that's normally a good sign.
Normally. Minute to go.
1 minute. I'll be interested to see how Noakes goes today. They had a bit of an incident in training through the week, and they've been upside down and broke a few more things. But
And they broke a few things last week too.
Yep. So, but they told me earlier that they thought they were in pretty good shape. So let's see.
Good looking boat.
Oh, fantastic, isn't it? Taking a prisoner approach, 40 seconds. So Tech 2 and Smeg down at the leeward end, and Royal Oak at the top here.
With Ilve and Noakes Blue.
And Jim Colley on the Burrowang down near the pin as well. Most lured boat.
They're looking a little early almost, 15 seconds. But they're pretty adept at slowing them down these days, aren't they? Oh, Lazarus in the middle there. And at the pin. Oof.
Ooh.
Lazarus, Jimmy?
Looks like, oh no, we've got an individual.
We'll try and find out who that is as the race progresses. But yeah, I'd like to think that's who, from our vantage point, that's who I think it was too. Bucko was Lazarus, but nothing official as yet.
Hey, I like the German prints here at the boat start. Good way to get going.
There's John O'Witty on the Ilve, Vet Heritage on the Noakes Blue just below. And those three boats that you talked about, Pat, just to the right of screen, they've really jumped out there, the Tech 2, Andu and Smeg.
Fantastic. Etchell fleet in the background. Shaw and Partners coming across here on port, not quite on screen. Fabulous action.
I'm just trying to find our little holder. Come join the party.
Fantastic.
It's Lazarus Capital Partners or Developments, that one. There's Finport, Keegan, Bryce, and who else is on there? Phil Marshall.
Only paid for the cheap seats in the third row.
There's all the Etchells going through the 18s. So, and then the 80-footer in the background. So
And the 80-footer just out for an afternoon jolly.
You've got to love the harbour.
Well, when the Etchell fleet down here was, this fleet today's only about 30 boats, but it used to be sometimes 60 boats. And then it was really a problem. But Tech 2 leads.
He's got a nice jump there at the moment.
Yep. And he will have complete choice about when to tack, Jimmy.
Yep.
And it is very solid, the pressure over here on the Bradley's Head side. And very bumpy. A couple of powerboat washes. Ferry coming in from Manly not on screen, but will be in the fleet in about 2 minutes.
I'm just using Elvay as a bit of a dodgeball to wave Etchells out of the way because I've got Lazarus Capital Developments right up the back of the Camry Cat. I don't want to ruin their day either. So, thanks, Jono. There he goes.
Well, Smack, not a great
Tech 2
tackle.
just tagging.
Yeah.
Lazarus holding Andu out there just at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, and both of them into the nasty bit of wind.
The doldrums.
Is that Andu? No, he saved it, but they're parked. Tell you who might come out of this okay is Shore Partners, Leo Takahashi. He did that little tack to the right. Now he's going to hit Bradley's head.
I think you're right there, Pat. And with the Manly Ferry inbound to Circular Quay, these guys over here on this Bradley's Head shore are going to find it
Challenging.
challenging, to say the least. Not pushing too far into the hole.
It's been tough for the guys on port, I can tell you that.
Oh,
My goodness.
Andu's going to get around it.
And the Rag and Famish just tacking just on the edge. There's Fisher Pike. Couple of the
No,
Ilve, just Ferry just giving a nice little toot, just sort of saying, "Hey guys, I'm here," just in case you didn't notice. He's actually been pretty nice about it all.
Oh,
all right, Shore Partners now. He's going to get a nice pick on this shore up this side. Leo Takahashi, well, bit of a slow tack there, but they've got going now. I think they'll.
that was a perfectly acceptable tack for 20 knots of wind. Trust me.
Okay, fair enough.
Trust me.
Probably being a bit critical.
You are. Wow, it's been a tough first 3-4 minutes.
There's been some traffic.
Yep. Even though the harbour is relatively speaking not crowded,
Right.
a very tough
Yeah. So
first bit. Tech 2 gone.
So, to Lazarus and who? Okay, so mate.
Yeah, I think Jack's really trying to get his best foot forward after probably by his standards. I think the Australian Championships was probably not where they wanted to be, so good to see him coming out firing today.
And Pat, off the back of that, the disappointment continues for Tech 2. I just got the word through from the start boat. Tech 2, Fisher Paykel, and they're not sure which Lazarus. They believe it's the Capital Developments were over. So yeah, that was the phone just rang from the start boat. So as I said, the disappointment continues for poor Jack on that front.
Well, there you go. That's big news. Big news today. So does that theoretically put Shore Partners now as the leader?
Yeah, well, I guess Tech 2 can keep going and argue the point, but who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just trying to give all the guys here a bit of a chance. There's a fair few power boats. I know they all know Pete's away, so they can feel free to do what they like without a review. So I'm just trying to get around the side of them all. I'll get up and we can have a bit of a look at the new notes. There's Balmain Slate Racing on screen.
Got some problem on the notes, guys. Ed just went in to fix something, the main sheet man. Must be
Something to do with the sheet, the Spinnaker sheet.
Yeah, not sure, but something.
I can't imagine anything else that sheet would do. Shore and Partners definitely leading over this side of the track.
And Tech 2 gone into the sort of longer leg strategy, I think, in some degree, but absent the idea that they were over the line at the start, they lead by a good margin.
Yeah, and they, I don't think, would know. Like, we're we're pretty lucky with the hindsight.
Yep.
We've got the we got comms with the star boat that lets us know, which has been good. But Tech 2 on this course, they normally eat it for breakfast, don't they? They go there.
Yeah.
Copy of us.
So that's Yandu. Now, think about the club championship points for Yandu. This is pretty good positioning for them here in the middle.
Yeah, well, does it hand it to Yandu if they stay upright?
Yep. I guess a present position. Their discards are similar.
Pete Shipway just said he's taking all the rego numbers down. He's watching at home and he'll sort them out when he gets back. So you don't have to step into his shoes, Pat.
Oh, thanks. I couldn't do as good a job as Pete.
There's Yandu just tacking. One of the very few skippers in the fleet that tacks backwards.
It's not in the book I read, but anyway.
Right. Are any of you guys going to tell him how he should do it differently?
I don't think anyone's game enough to.
I've tried several times, but
Oh, I admire him.
so the order on the water is in fact Tech 2, Yandu, Finport, Shaw and Partners.
Yandu. They're all coming.
Shaw and Partners, Finport, Ragan, Famish, probably Noakes in 6 and Andu in 7th, I think. Big powerboat washers coming back from Manly down the western shore where we are, travelling alongside more or less Yandu.
I know Tech 2 is over, but boy, they've really legged out on the fleet, haven't they?
Yeah. Pat, they love this course. I know they went out training during the week, fine tuning. As you said, I know they're disappointed about the result of the Aussies. But the club champs, they were looking forward to sealing that one off. But they're a polished team. We know that. It's just what all the other guys can do to catch up. Which I think a few of them have got their measure. They've just got to put it all together.
No, fair to say anybody that beats them on this course or the Southerly course is doing a pretty good job. And that's the challenge for...
They are going across screen.
Particularly if it's up range, not quite so much down range or big rig, but this is pretty solid second sail breeze. Some big power boats. Have a look at that one.
Now I know why Peter takes rego numbers.
He loves them.
ALH89N, although he's been
Glory days.
well behaved.
Okay, back to the racing.
So interesting, Tech 2 and Shaw and Partners both sailing pretty long legs in the ebb tide. And they will...
There's Shaw and Partners.
Shaw and Partners and Tech 2 both on the starboard going to the western side, the other side of the ferry track and the incoming traffic from Manly.
How'd you get 2 stickers on that boat, Pat? How did it all make that allowable?
Look, Earl and I, we have a great relationship, and we all love branding, so we try to put as many on as we can. He loves the real estate. Yep. Oh, these guys are, Leo Takahashi, you think about how much sailing he does across, the Sail GP, 49er. I understand he's going to be the flight controller for season 3 for Sail GP. He's a real polished act.
Mate, anyone that could do the flight controlling on that day 3 of Sail GP here in Sydney, for their first go at doing the flight control, was exceptional. They were the most stable platform out there.
Just incredible, eh?
Mate, he was up against guys which have done it for 2 seasons,
Yeah.
1 and a bit seasons.
And they were the fastest boat on that last day.
Yeah.
So we can see now the margin up to Tech 2. Tech 2 leads by about 30 seconds from Shaw and Partners. And
Yandu.
Yandu and probably then Andu now, Jimmy, do you think?
Yep, most definitely.
And Noakes is next, possibly fifth. And the Rag in the middle of a tide, indeed.
So, Jimmy, just confirming, did you also say Lazarus Capital Partners was potentially?
He wasn't sure. They're having a look back over whether it's Lazarus Capital Developments or Lazarus Capital Partners, but
Right.
but knowing our good mate Marcus, who's a bull of the gate, always keen to help push people across the line.
Right.
My guess would be on him. Nothing towards you, Marcus. Just know how you love pushing it. There's Smeg on screen.
Yep, so Shaw and Partners just crossing ahead of Yandu. So Shaw and Partners looking pretty nice there. And Yandu tacks to weather them.
Tag 2 just approaching the top mark off screen, just about to bear away. Got bee napping, I forgot where the Bishop boy was, Bucko.
Yeah, I did say they might be near the low line, but that tells you how much left's in the breeze.
Yeah,
And they tacked short of George's Head and laid easily in the ebb tide.
there they are, just about to bear away.
And they're having a bit of trouble, but they were patient and just got it done. So it tells you it's reasonably challenging.
That's about as nervous you've ever seen them at a top mark.
What do you make the wind strength up here, boys?
Solid 18s plus a bit for the ebb. So call it 20.
Oh. And they're off.
And bumpy. So not too often you see Tech 2 have a little bit of tentativeness on the bear away. But they did wait until the boat was dead upright, more or less.
All right, here we go. Shaw and Partners going into the bearaway.
Bit of rough water, but pretty comfy.
Very comfy.
That big bloke down the back of the bus, Jimmy, do you think?
Made it look pretty easy for a bloke that's not normally on there.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't lost his touch.
Here comes Mr. Experience, John Winning on the Yandu, just about to come around in third.
And they've all sort of made it a bit easy for themselves by overstanding, in fact, and Andu's going to be
Look at this.
next.
James Doran.
Andu, Rag and Famish, Finport, then Noakes, or call that a draw.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Here comes the charge of the rest of them. Lazarus Capital.
Windward set on Noakes.
yeah. Great bear away from the Lazarus in very bumpy water. And the Smeg almost in double figures, so that's a little bit unexpected.
Bit of work to do there.
So Vintech around, the Germans,
and-
bit rusty, but got there.
And a great effort at
Balmain Slate.
imitating a U-boat, Jimmy.
Yes. Enough for that, Bucko. I'm not getting involved in anything like that.
The politics.
There's a Vet Heritage on Noakes Blue. Going for the set now. The Vet Heritage, Tom Clout, James Turner.
And pretty conservative, but safe.
All right, looking ahead, we've seen jibes on Tech 2, Shaw and Partners, Andu probably jibed earlier than the others, so he's going out in the middle. We've got an outgoing tide, so what do you think, Bucko?
Well, in part, safety-wise, you're looking for a bit of smooth water. So it doesn't pay to get too close to bubble and glass rocks where there is some refraction.
I agree.
So where Smeg's going has been known to be dangerous territory.
The Prince, as you the Germans setting up for a jibe.
So
How do they go?
he's been listening. Lovely jibe. How about that?
Perfect. Smeg and Royal Oak are both jibed.
Great to see Team Germany out here. Henrik von Bayen, Thomas Martin and Andy Martin.
Smeg with a little tear in the shoe.
Not in a high load area though, right, Bucko?
Medium load area, I'd say.
Medium. We've seen worse. What was it, Rag and Famish, wasn't it, a couple of weeks ago with it? How that held on it, God only knows.
So, a bit of spectator interest as you'd expect. The first crystalline summer's day post-Christmas.
It is busy.
And it's heating up.
So it looks like Andu up ahead is definitely gained ground on Shaw Partners.
Yeah, I mean, they did have a little bit of trouble before they jibed. Pat, I don't know if you saw it, but they ran it. They had a little pit stop with a lull and a bit of bad seaway.
We need a traffic marshal out here.
Indeed. Indeed.
It's all right when you got every Wally and his dog out here. Pete, you'd be blowing a fuse by now if you were out here with us at the moment.
Blowing up deluxe, he'd be. As we can see here, travelling with Yandu, too close up under the headland. They have to do another jibe, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be way too light in here.
Yep. In dangerous territory.
I'm sure they all love the smell of diesel blowing down onto them.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Tech 2 for the viewers at home is just at the jibe mark now. That's how much of a lead they've bolted.
Yeah.
So this is a good little ding-dong battle here. We'll stick with this.
On the water, Tech 2 leads, Turon Partners will be second, Andu third now, Yandu fourth, Rag and Famish fifth, probably Noak sixth, and Smeg in about 10th. But
Tech 2 on screen.
Tech
There's
2
Tech 2 on screen from the drone.
successfully through the jibe, and they were late at the bottom without jibing, so their lead increases.
Yep. They know
Incredible.
this. They know this course like the back of their hand.
Probably better than that.
Yeah, and do, as you suspected, Bucko had to jibe out. So, yeah, and do lost 1, 2, 3, 4 spots in that manoeuvre, jibing early.
So Shaw Partners look like they're now heading into a jibe up ahead here. And then we've got
A little bit rushed on that one, but that's okay.
looks like Andu's going to jibe in front of them. Here we go. So Andu's jibed ahead. So I think Andu's now moved ahead of Shaw and Partners Financial Services, and a much smoother jibe on the Andu. James Doran, Gus Williams, Matt Stinner. Am I right in saying, Jimmy, that Gus and Matt, they're on the Moon and Yacht 16 team, so they're a pretty polished duo.
Yeah, but they're opposite way around. So Matty Stenner, who's on the sheet here on the Andu, he's normally in the bow, and Gussie on the sheet. But those two, like, they don't even need to talk to each other when they're sailing. They're just a real polished team. And you know, they sail with Daniel Turner, or Ruffy, he's probably more affectionately known around the place. Probably the better of the two Turner brothers in sailing. Hope you're watching, Joe.
Fabulous action here at the jibe mark, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody pressing in like a bit with a lull. Finport booming on a puff. Bow down, aimed at Point Piper, all good. Tech 2 in the far background, nearly down at the bottom mark. But this is a peloton, and you can see, maybe
You can just see
yeah,
Tech 2 in the background with that
That's
shot,
right.
Bucko. So
And Andu nearly in the tide down to on the leeward edge of this fleet here.
So this is his wind shadow you've been talking about, Bucko, all morning.
Dangerous.
They've all, Andu and Shaw and Partners have all hit it. This fleet are about to hit it as well. I can see Coco behind taking a lower road. So it's gonna be some passing going on here, I think.
Yeah. So just looking forward, though, you see, Pat, that the Tech 2 hasn't quite laid up to the mark. Comfortable shoot drop. But we're on Noakes here, Noakes and Lazarus. Tech
See
2
Marcus
in the
going for the
background.
back fruity to get ready to hang on. And for those at home watching, Tech 2 around the mark now. So get your Mickey Mouse working, Bucko.
It's on.
Right. They're on here.
Okay, so in order as we speak, Tech 2, Sure Partners, Andu, Dragon Famish, Yandu, Finport, Noakes, Lazarus, Smeg. With the lead to Tech 2, about 1:15, I think.
Yeah, had a few over at the start, Bucko. You're just tuning in. Tech 2 being one of them that was identified by the starter, and they're currently leading the race. But this is a real good battle on here.
Yeah, I think you find that things will end up in the protest room, James.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because Lazarus obscured everybody at the leeward end.
Yeah.
And
But the part that gets me, Bucko, is they always say, oh, after reviewing of the footage of what we've taken, like
Yes,
you know, is that part and parcel? Is that allowed? I don't know. Oh, there's problems here on the Dragon Famish. Got crew underneath the wing.
bit of water skiing, it's called.
Yep,
He's back.
he's back.
He's back and a bit more water
Just.
skiing, just. So a bit of shuffling of the places. Andu's struggling to get up to the mark. Andu and Sure Partners rounding nearly together. Sorry, not on screen viewers, we're on Lazarus. And the trailing part of the pack. Under pressure shoot drops here.
Yandu and Lazarus, Capital Partners, Finport, then Noakes. And bring up the rear of this pack, we've got Smeg. I did notice a little tear in the spinnaker on Smeg, so
That'll just give Grumpy Baz something to do during the week.
well, let's hope it. Let's hope it doesn't get bigger.
So pretty good racing. The front peloton, 7 boats within 1 minute. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And some pretty tidy handling indeed. We haven't seen anybody on the riding lever yet.
Particularly with the change of crews too, across the fleet.
Yeah, no, the boys have done well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Then you got the Germans, Balmain Slate, Royal Oak Hotel, Four Pines, and just about to round the mark, the Burrawang Village Hotel, which Jim Colley filling in on that today. He was the Sure Partners skipper last year.
Yeah, and
He said, he goes, I was hoping I was going to get away with a whole year without getting a call up, but he finally buckled. And what a day to buckle. Cracking nor'easter here on Sydney Harbour.
How could you say no?
Exactly.
difficult.
More on than the first settlers still coming down in the background, but we'll wait for the Kitchen Maker and Ilve to get around the mark, and we'll go chasing the pack and might go work our way through and catch up with the Tech 2, give them some love since they are leading on the water.
Looks like a halyard travel here on Ilve.
I've got a knot in the halyard.
Knot in the halyard.
I've got a knot, it's called. Yep.
That'll
Looking in the background, Smeg having a moment there, just to the right of screen.
Yep. run out of wind on the corner.
Yeah, and not all the way in the corner, Bucko, like they're not even halfway there.
Yeah, the breeze actually backed a little bit since the first beat.
Yeah, like, you know, looking at the angle of the guys that are heading out on starboard,
Yeah.
your MAD to stick on that for too long, just probably even just a step up to see if it comes back at you, which most of them have done. And way off in the distance is Tech 2 just on the other side. Don't forget, guys, if you're watching and you're liking what we're doing, hit the like button, leave a comment, leave some questions. We're trying to compile a whole heap of questions from you guys that we're going to answer during the JJs, so feel free to leave questions, comments, anything we can do better, and we'll endeavour to answer them the best we can. And then, yeah, who are we on here? We've got Snag, German, and Balmain Slake.
Yeah.
Well, I think your prediction on this forecast is ringing true here, Bucko. Some nice acceleration and tide going out, making for some bumpy action.
Yeah, it's bumpy even on our nice little platform.
And this is a mighty fine platform, I must say.
So there we go. Team Germany. Fantastic.
That's not Team Germany.
No. This is Aussie 101.
There you go. There you go.
But that's a good
Team
effort.
Germany right there.
That's a good effort from those boys.
Mate, awesome effort, isn't it? In that boat, like, yeah, he's one of the older boats that picked it up and piecing it all together. And yeah, Nadine's not an easy boat just to jump straight into and go, let's put three of us together and hope for the best. And now on Andu, just here off Bradley's head with a nice covering tack from Stefan Racing, the 80-footer. Thanks very much, they'll be saying.
So Andu, mates are flicking in and out now, indicating wind strength up above 20 and in very bumpy water. The combination of some powerboat wash and the ebb tide and the nor'easter is sufficient that she's bouncy.
James Doran's just been given the keys to a Ferrari today, hasn't he?
Wouldn't be the first time for the kid.
And it looks like he's crossing ahead of Shaw and Partners. You'll just see on screen shortly, Shaw and Partners just coming into screen.
So
Probably
yeah, they were
4
pretty,
or 5 boat lengths behind.
pretty close together at the bottom mark, but
And there's the cross between Fimport and Rag and Famish Hotel.
and they're not too far out of it either, are they? Those two boats are only about 30 seconds in arrears from Andu.
Mate, it is quite the boat race. Just trying to figure out how we're going to link ourselves up to get up to Tech 2 to have a look at them, and then we can mosey on back down. But not too much linking going on. And there's Shore and Partners on screen, just about to be just crossing in front of a powerboat that's at full
I've
displacement.
got his Rego number 2.
Pete's notepad is going to be full when you get back, Pete.
Wow.
But, you know, glorious day out here on Sydney Harbour. Where else would you want to be? So, you know, you can't blame people. We don't own the harbour. There's Yandu on the screen.
Tucking out in the middle of the harbour over there is Rag and Famish. I think still extending to the right side of the course behind them. But he's looking pretty good out there in the middle, Yandu.
Yandu and Andu out there in the middle, Pat. Yandu on screen.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, Yandu approximately 10, 15 boat lengths to windward.
Huh? Again.
So the Shore and Partners getting chewed up a little bit on this beat, Jimmy. not too sure, but Finport coming through quite strongly. Shaw and Partners jib looking a little deep at the bottom batten.
It's Finport on screen.
Finport on screen.
Andu's muscling up very well up the middle. Not on screen, but we'll get them on screen soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah, this middle pack, and you can just see Andu here. I think they've been the winners on this beat so far.
Yeah, they've certainly put a little bit of time into Shaw and Partners. Occupying similar water, so suggesting that it's a boat speed advantage, not a tactical advantage.
Well, I know, speaking to Ian Murray, he's very happy with the big rig, not so much with the little rig, so hopefully he's seeing a lot of positives out of that.
Well, it must be somewhere close, but still, Tech 2 damaged them pretty substantially early, didn't they? So
Yeah.
but it does seem, James, as if they're set up the sail a little lower and a little faster than Tech 2, yeah?
Yeah, and you know, the difference between James Doran's helming style versus Sebi Jarvin's helming style.
Yep.
Yeah, Sebi might like to sail the low fast mode. Doz, well, I know Doz likes the low and fast mode. Hates the high and slow mode.
That's right.
So sailed with Doz for a few years. Reached through life. It was good fun. But yeah, like different skippers have different styles and feels of how they like the boat, and you know, it all makes a big difference to how your sail's set up, as you know, Bucko.
Yep, absolutely. But
See, I would have said that Shaw and Partners has made a little gain on the right there.
I'm with you.
yeah, and that might be, you know, that the current is still good enough, or the flat water on the left edge here is not enough advantage. It's just a trade-off, probably between breeze a bit more left-handed and the water flatter on the left edge, current stronger, water rougher in the middle. Current's going straight upwind.
Then just to the right of that shot there, the drone shot, you just seen the James Craig coming through the screen, the old square rigger, which has been out for a day's charter up at the Shemming from the Sydney Heritage Fleet. There's Yandu and Nates in the background behind us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Yandu lost a fair bit net in the run. Jive too early to come into Nelson, and then got a bit conservative. There we go, the mighty James Craig. Several years and many millions of dollars in restoration right there.
Yep. That's Yandu going across in front of it. John Winning is a contributor to the Sydney Heritage Fleet, long-time contributor of the Sydney Heritage Fleet. So, you know, I know they're just about to put the John Oxley back in the water and bringing up, can't remember which ferry, but they're bringing up one of the ferries, but I know it's not the Barragoola because that's on the bottom. So here we are on Tech 2. Absolutely different postcode completely.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
these guys are, you know, sailing an exceptional boat.
Looking solid.
Notice 2 out of the 3 picks that you picked, Pat, you got an association with.
What was that, James?
Out of 2 out of the 3 picks that you picked all have a Vicavy sticker on them.
Funny that.
Funny that. Why not the third one? Do we have to get in there and do some negotiating on your behalf?
I'll get onto that. I'll work on that.
Their mane just flappy a bit every now and then, Bucko.
But delicious. Delicious. And that's a technical term.
I was going to say, can we get that setting to delicious, please? Is that what you're going to ask?
That'll do. That's all you need to know. Now, I'll be very interested to see how long they take before they jibe at this top mark. Jibe set or to not to jibe set?
Brilliant shot.
They're looking like a pretty nice lay here, particularly with the outgoing tide.
Easy lay.
Easy lay.
Easy lay. All right. Wow, so that's nearly fully flattened the main. Fantastic.
Main looks unreal, doesn't it?
Head just hanging in the onset flow. And that's pretty frisky there, Pat.
Very frisky, I tell you.
So this will be a telling bear away.
Some great drone footage here.
Fantastic. Dylan got the drone just at spreader height. Mark just there. Van going off. Back of the bus, gentlemen. Let's go. Jib out of the cleat.
2, 1, bang.
Ah, never in doubt.
Look at that.
Made it look easy, didn't
There
they?
you go. Watch what the boys get up to here in the set for the viewers at home. One's on the hay, one's on the tack, and then boom, foot on the sheet, set,
It was like a
get settled, and out of here. Well done.
4 boat length set in 20 knots of wind. Not bad.
Very impressive.
Extremely
Very
impressive.
impressive.
And I don't think they need to rush the jibe in hindsight. Because their lead is...
It's monstrous. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Tech 2 throws a jibe in. So they're saying well clear of that light patch over at Nielsen Park.
That was Noakes across in the background behind Tech 2 just there. They're probably in 5th or 6th at the moment.
Yeah, good idea. We'll stay down. You go up.
And I think also on this run, avoiding all that traffic down on that left side of the course is not a bad option too.
Well, they've set themselves up for the simplest run possible here, Pat, I think.
Yep.
2, 3 jibes only. It is pretty fresh. And the clock is ticking on the rest of the fleet, and Andrew will be there second.
Rob.
You up there? I'm down.
Rob.
Okay. So I'm just getting tight again with
But we're travelling downwind with Tech 2.
Yep. Yep.
They're motoring.
whereabouts.
What's on?
And that's an understatement.
Yeah, Tech 2's out.
Andrew just around now.
Spec
Okay, then we're seeing Andrew.
yeah, I've got to go.
Andrew just rounding the top mark now, second place. Gone for a set. Pretty smooth set there. I think it passes Bucko's high standards.
You know, good enough. 20 knots of wind, like I said. And Tech 2 leads by a minute 20.
And just behind them you see Shaw and Partners just rounding in 3rd place. They're just going for the set now. But I'll tell you what, and
No, Shaw and Partners.
Uh-oh.
Spinnaker's gone prawning
Oh.
and swim.
and there we go. Oh, Woody's behind him now. He's got an obstacle. Was that Woody?
Woody's going to join the party
Oh,
on Yandu.
How's that riding lever tally going, boys?
Well, that's 2 that we've seen.
yeah.
Is it only what the ones we've seen?
No, we can review the tape.
All right, here's the rag. The rag's going to have a go. He's
The
gonna-
rag looking ragged, should we say, Pat?
Well, he's managed to navigate around that little
Oh, it's hairy. It's windy.
graveyard.
It's hairy and windy.
We've got Finport rounding behind them, followed by Noakes.
Wow. Looking upwind now. That's above 20. Slightly unusual structure, the wind today. More pressure up near the headland than usual.
Yeah. So Finport and Noakes there. Looks like a bit of trouble on Finport's chute. Just clearing their chute now. Noakes is stuck in their dirty air. Can't get forward.
Pretty awkward place.
Thinking about a jibe out of there. Oh,
The rag.
just in front of them.
The rag
off
is
screen.
gone.
The rag has just gone nose first into the harbour.
So We were just about to say the fleet's done really well, and suddenly there's now 3
The
boats.
lactic acid time.
No, too early for that.
Too early, but they've all done an extra lap, remember, with their practice lap.
Maybe.
So here we are at the top, Mark. We've got 3 boats in the tide. The RAG, Shaw and Partners Financial Service, and Yandu.
And I think the Yandu should probably be the quickest one up because they're the only one which didn't have their spinnaker out of the bag at that point in time of the swim. But I think they're sort of a bit locked out with...
You're going to come in? Okay.
They're going to be a little bit locked out waiting for Shaw and Partners to go upright so they don't spear into each other.
Let's follow these guys.
Well, we've still got a boat race on here, and we can see here we've got the Royal Oak and Balmain S Lake, Vintech, all successfully got their chutes in the air and off they go.
The Royal Oak look like they're trying to set up for a little something. Oh, they're just ducking the Rag and Famish.
Go from Peacock to Feather Duster.
Balmain Slate going into the jibe. Pretty good job. A little bit nose down, but not too bad. And we're travelling with the Royal Oak 4 Pines. The Team Germany in the background with the Vintech signs.
So, Royal Oak will be thinking about a jibe here soon. They're just working on their timing. Here they go. Nice jibe. They've set themselves up for a nice run down the harbour. Okay, here we go. Vintech, the Germans, looking really like they're at home here on Sydney Harbour, I'd say.
We just call them Team Germany because...
Team Germany. You're right. You are right. Team Germany. They're looking right at home here. Loving it.
All good.
3 stringing.
They look like they've never been away.
No,
Amazing.
go. Bit slow.
A few less boats out here in the harbour now. I'll be helping the guys out a bit.
Wow. All the fleet trying to simplify the race here a bit. Minimum jibes. Plenty of wind down here. We're just up behind Smeg down near Bradley's Head. Tech's already at the bottom mark.
Yandu still in second, Bucko.
Yes.
Here we are on the screen, Smeg. Their hull still seems to be the same size on their spinnaker, so that's good.
We're just travelling with Smeg here. 22 knots, 23 knots. Bouncy as hell.
Going across the tide at the moment.
And the Lewin ahead, Lazarus, and in line in front of them Noakes. Still plenty of sailing to do. The championship lap coming up.
The lactic acid lap. That's it. Lazarus Capital Partners, Marcus Ashley Jones, Cam Gundy and Geronimo Harrison. They're launched.
Notes just jibing on the screen.
You want to find the bottom mark. So he might be a bit optimistic. He might be okay. Getting mapped now. Lazarus certainly too early. Finport leads that bunch just in the background, crossing them all on board, but some pressure on the bowman now on the Finport. That's going to do it.
He's got a bit of runway.
Yeah, Noakes is coming in hot.
This will be interesting.
Noakes is coming in real hot.
No, good jibe angle, Pat.
Yeah.
You don't run square. Do not run square. Here he goes. Better to be a couple of lengths wide than a couple of lengths too close.
Definitely.
Definitely. Trying to run square on the Lazarus.
Pretty tidy job on the Finport.
Yep.
So they're at third place on the water.
Yeah, and as we said last week, they were pretty fast, it seemed to me. But there you go, 3 boats within 5 boat lengths. How about that?
In touching distance, definitely.
Yep. And Smeg been battling away, unable to find a passing lane.
He's still there. He's in the hunt.
And the boys on the Balmain Slake taking a shot at the title too. Good on them. I'm going to jinx them, am I? Yep.
Kiss of death on them, bugger.
Oh,
They're good.
There was some.
Pull the spinnaker down, then jibe.
Granny.
Yeah.
Granny. He's heard us.
Oh, they're listening to us.
He's heard us.
Good job.
There was some very good dancing going on there.
Oh, that was an incredible save.
That was called a near miss by any.
Airline in the world.
And nice ley lines from the Prince, the Team Germany.
Team Germany. They're having a great day.
Super day.
They might dig out one of the old colour 7s and give it to him. Bucko, he'll be sailing like this in his first day in this old boat.
That's right. Awesome. And tidy too.
Very tidy.
Good ley line into the mark and tidy clean up at the corner. And he's in touch with the back of the peloton.
Looking forward to watching these guys
Yep.
involve.
Fisher, Pykel, Burrowing Hotel in the background. Balmain Slake finally around
Well,
with Royal Oak 4 Pines around next.
Jimmy, the Balmain Slake did a good job there though. They were in plenty of bother and they were patient and they stayed upright.
Incredible.
You know, that's a good sign.
In this way to breeze, being that young, that light,
Yep.
Yeah.
that had the recipe for not ending the way that it ended, that's for sure.
Yep. No, good effort.
And that's what it's about. You know, I think this year it's been great to see these young teams come and get a full season of experience, you know, and they're going to keep building from here.
Yeah, talking about young guys, Pat, your involvement with the 29ers or the Niner Association, the Manly Juniors, who else don't you throw some sponsorship at?
Yeah, there's quite a few. It's becoming a long list, but no, we do love it. You know, I think for us, obviously we've got a commercial reason to support these classes and sailors, but I think for us there is a passion. You know, we all have been, you know, all of us here have all been through that journey ourselves, and I think we love it, and we want to see kids enjoy the sport and then progress into all the exciting things that's available for them. You know, it is such a great sport, sailing, and you know, I just think it's worth for us. We just feel it's something that we love to do, we're passionate about, so that's why we get involved.
I think I could probably speak on behalf of everyone, Pat, and thank you very much for your generous sponsorship of events all and classes. It's very much so.
Oh, we appreciate
Noticed.
it. Thank you, mate. Thank you. It's good fun. As long as we're having fun, that's the main thing.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
So
Seeing the smile on those kids' faces, that's the other good one.
that's
Yeah.
a good bit, yeah.
That's the great bit.
So, folks, the breeze just building another little notch here, Jimmy, eh? Looking up wind now, it looks like 23, something like that in the puffs, 20. And looking at the speed of the guys coming downhill as well.
Yep. Just noticed off screen, well off screen, is not to worry, but it's the kitchen maker has had a little swim, so just travelling along here with the Vintech
AKA Team Germany.
Team Germany. Just while we're trying to make our way back up through the fleet, Tech 2 is almost off chowder ahead at the moment. They're that far gone, bugger.
Yes.
I can see the weather at Tech 2 that Yandu is up and running with its Spinnaker, but it must have taken them some time to get going after their capsize.
No one know what the war of attrition is with who was over at the start either, so
No.
So this last lap may turn into a war of attrition. We're travelling directly behind Smeg over to Bradley's Head. Rig setup looks good, but they're not very fast through the water for some reason. Got any ideas, Jimmy?
I don't think they're doing okay. Like, we're travelling along behind them doing 11, we're not falling off them. It's, I'm not getting into an argument between, I'm not getting put between Baz and you.
No, all fair.
I think they're going all right.
All fair enough, but they're circulating in about 7th place.
Well, they're using as much real estate as they can here. They're about to touch the rocks. Beautiful.
Tap and go, it's called.
Tap and go.
Tap and go.
Well, nicely done, Michael.
Yep. Yeah.
I feel like the Smeg, they struggled off the line a little bit, and they've just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of them. Every time
Well,
I've been watching them.
if you're not fast enough to go through the peloton, and you're behind the peloton.
Both me mates, you look good.
Yeah.
You can find something here.
Plenty of traffic as well. Finport, Lazarus and, sorry, not on screen, girls and boys, but
They're on screen now.
Finport, Lazarus and Noakes having a royal battle for third.
Just added another one to our swim counter, which is Birkenhead Point Marina.
No, it's pretty frisky, isn't it, now? Wow.
We might have to join my 6 and your 6 together and we get 12. What do you reckon, Pat?
I think so. I think there's plenty more to come. This race between these three boats has been pretty good to watch, though, hasn't it?
Or even 4, like Smeg's sort
Smeg.
of nipping right at him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is Finport on screen?
So Finport's the lured boat of this pack of 3, heading into the left side of the harbour.
Noakes and Lazarus just there. That's the 3 we've been talking about.
Noakes with their high twist setup, quite distinctively different to Finport or Lazarus.
3 different sail makers, isn't it? Or 3 different... No, because the little rig on Noakes is north, isn't it? But been redone by Doyle, I think. Trying to keep up.
Can't see notes, but you can find it.
Yeah.
And Noakes is really, between all 3 of these boats, has got that nice heel to windward angle of heel, and definitely sailing higher out of the 3 boats.
They got a good high slow-mo.
I think it's causing Lazarus a bit of grief, hanging in there to windward of them.
Yeah. Cruising boat just running through. Lazarus will have to bail out of there, but they'll all be looking up the track and going, we have a Manly ferry coming in. They'll be endeavouring to get on the western side of that, which will pass through this area here. We're travelling more or less with Lazarus on the camera cat. Ferry will be here in about 2 minutes. So Noakes has won that fight, I think, temporarily at least.
Yeah, and I think Marcus, they did a very good job just hanging in there.
Yep.
And just to leeward of Noakes, you see Finn Port's tacked on the port to get out of the left there.
So, and Keegan's been complaining about his mast being insufficiently responsive. So, Lazarus has jumped out. So Noakes leads that group.
Yep. He's gone.
And with Tech 2 in the background, that's second and first.
So Tech
On
2
course.
up on the Port Tack ley line by the look of it. North Head in the background.
No, let's forget about Tech 2.
All right, what's the wind speed here, Bucko?
You can come up to Andrew if you want.
It's funny, a bit like a Rolls Royce, mate. Adequate. The horsepower of a Rolls Royce. Oh, they're pretty. It's above 20. Let's just say that. Seems a little lighter here where Yandu is, and stronger up near the heads, which is
Yes.
a little unusual.
I'd agree with you, Matt. Looks
a
like
bit
a
of-
couple of knots fresher up the top.
She's a bit catabatic off the North Headland, I think, Jimmy.
Catabatic, there it is.
There it is.
Cheers,
like
you
London.
you heard that, didn't you? Finally, 3 years in the making. Well done, Bucko. We got the catabatic out of you.
Well, it's not always in existence, is it? It's a fact of life.
It's not. We've just got to sit around a bar with you somewhere when it is catabatic and we can talk about it.
I think it might have been catabatic in England recently. How's that?
And here you go. If you've got a question, you want to know what catabatic is, which would no doubt be a question, someone asks a question and we'll try and get the dumbed down version off Bucko and the technical version of Bucko.
So there we go, looking uphill. Everybody on, you can see it cruising back there on screen. With the small Genoa and the mainsail just flapping completely. That tells you it's a little bit windy. If you didn't know otherwise, Tech 2 short of a lay in the background.
Okay, slow down, Jimmy. We need to try and catch up.
And enough wind that the drone's having trouble keeping up.
Don't worry about Tech 2, we'll let him go.
James Doran's looking at home here. He's looking pretty comfortable.
Yeah, Seb might have trouble getting the stick back.
I don't think that'll be a problem. Like Doz, one of Mossman's leading real estate agents, and Saturdays are consumed at the moment for him, and realistically, he only gets 1 day a week to himself, which is Sunday, and engaged to beautiful Amy, and they're I'm sure he's got other things that he'd rather be doing on a Sunday. He's got a beautiful launch as well. I'm sure he'd much prefer to be enjoying that.
Well, it's good that he can come back every now and then and still prove he's still got it.
That's not to say he wouldn't spend some of the time checking his bank balance, James.
Well, mate, he owns a timber launch, so I don't think looking at the bank balance is going to do him any favours anyway. And then,
There's a video across Tech 2 going around.
Just off screen at the moment. Tech
Just
2
to
is
the
just
right.
round the top mark
yeah,
again.
they are on screen, Pat.
And they're just on screen now.
You
Going
are.
into the hoist. Looking pretty good.
Probably their worst one.
Yeah, that was probably their worst one. But still, they've got a pretty sizable lead. So,
According to Craig Nichols, froth meter on his schooner is 23 knots.
23.
23.
Thanks, Ed, for that froth meter. That's good.
And there goes the Tech 2 launching down.
Yeah, Jimmy,
And that's not Lazarus
no, that's
partners, that's developments in the background
Yeah.
of Tech 2 there.
So, Andu, nice ley line into the top mark. officially, we think, in first. Tech 2 provisionally on the OCS and DSQ. That will probably end up in the room, I suspect. Just got the clock on these guys. And they've just, these, Andrew's gone pretty fast up this beat.
Well, they're out of the race. Okay. Well, we're gonna.
So we're travelling with Andu, setting up for the Bearaway.
I'll go down with Andrew and then see if we can cut across the Tech 2.
So about a 130, 135 lead to Tech 2. Pretty good Bearaway on the Andu.
You can just see the nervousness there on Doz compared to the every week skipper
Yeah.
of the Bearaway in that.
But nice and safe, and they've got it done.
Yep, impressive. Quite a big distance to third place, which this stage I'd say would be Noakes.
Well, Smeg's done all right over here, just in the back of that shot, back of that drone shot.
Yeah, good spotting, you're right. Smeg's come right back there. They're definitely in third place now. Although Fitport is on that far left side, but I still think Smeg would have him.
What were you saying about Smeg before, Bucko?
Well, it might have been better on this shore. We don't know. They didn't look at any point like they had any speed to burn at all. But the less tax and suffer the bumpy water. Oh, nice from Andu. They do jibe with a lot of vang on though.
It's
Some,
not over till it's over, is it?
some risk involved. Yeah, no. You saw that, didn't you, Pat? Boom, just hit the water. And it doesn't take much.
Doesn't take much at all. That's what makes these boats so exciting.
There's Tech 2 just picking that line as we were talking earlier on, just between Shark Island and Steel Point there, Bucko, that real fine line they got to tread.
They've threaded the needle successfully again, I think. Good judgment. So we're chasing the Tech 2 down. Tech 2 probably doing about 26, 27 knots. The camera cat nearly at full noise.
They're laying nicely here.
Beautiful low line.
They picked it perfectly through here, didn't they?
Yep. Just a little up their sleeve. A full noise jibe and a couple of powerboat washes that they might choose to. No, they're going to jibe before the powerboat wash. How about that? About a 10 out of 10 for that one.
No, 10 out. That's impressive. They're a slick team. Just going past the wing foiler. It's just coming in a screen. It's got the right life jacket though, so that's
Right
good.
life jacket, he'll survive there,
Yeah.
Pat. Chits is the biggest fan of the wing digs, mate.
The wing dig.
Doesn't look quite right, does it?
They're
What
a lot of fun.
We're travelling here with Tech 2, struggling a little bit to get over Point Piper, and laid down to the finish line to leeward of Clark Island in front of us. Tech 2 just through the lull there and back into the full strength airflow down to the bumpy part of the track at the seawall, the famous seawall on Point Piper.
Where all the action happens.
Plenty of last minute celebrations have come unstuck here. 400 metres from the finish. No, 500 metres perhaps from the finish.
That's right. It is a bit of a graveyard here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not for these guys though, I don't want to jinx them, but they're looking pretty solid. Despite their predicament they've now find themselves in, being OCS.
Yeah, I think you'll find it will go to the room, and I'd say they're a reasonable chance, but we need to look at review our own footage to say that, but it would be unlike them to be over, and they, I think, had room in the leeward end. I'm not sure about that.
They have an onboard computer, Bucko, that Andrew's just around Shark Island at the moment. They've got an onboard computer, Bucko, and they go on ping both ends, and that
That's
tells
right.
them
Yeah.
where the line is, and it tells them how many boat lengths to that line. And yeah, these guys have been around the block a few times to understand how that machine works.
So the Tech 2 going to drop the chute to get to the finish, the angle a little too tight. So safety first, they've got a good lead
Lewis Brake just pulling that chute in.
on the water. So one man drop you just saw there. Both the other crewmen on the end of the wing. Boat slows down a bit, but still doing about 17 knots.
Okay, go up. Sorry, I'm on Tech 2 here.
So Tech 2 finishes, but
Confirmed.
no sound signal.
No sound signal.
Okay, let's go back up to Andrew. No hooter.
No hooter for Tech 2, so first on the water, but it may not reflect on the result sheet. So moving up here to Andu, who's on their last leg to the finish, who is in first place. Well,
Whoa.
nice puff on there.
And Andu in the danger zone here. Handling it pretty nicely, but it's not a zero risk situation. We'll call it that, Pat. How about that?
You think Woody would have wanted to put a Y on there to get the get the overall championship
I
in?
think he would. Poor Woody.
Bumpy, windy.
It is bumpy and windy here.
Damn it, damn.
It's not over till it's over, is it?
Nah,
Full send it mode.
they got their hands full, but here they go.
I think they're doing their best just to keep the mast pointing to the sky.
And they will carry now to the finish. I don't think they'll drop.
It's going to be a nice rag to get up there, though.
No, they're okay.
Oh,
Wow. They're there, just sort of conditionally, potentially. Never in doubt, really, was it?
nicely done.
Sort of. It might have been better to drop, but doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Well done. So there we
you
go.
go. Officially
Hands
first on the water.
So the
Or
margin
first-
there, 2 minutes almost, more or less. Exactly.
Well sailed there by James Dorrant, Gus Williams and Mac Stenter. They had a good day out. So here we go, moving on to third place, Bucko.
So
Turn
Lazarus,
across the line, second place.
Right, thank you for clarifying that.
Blah, blah. It's,
Second place on the water. Second place. Yeah, where are we? What day is it?
it's a leisurely Sunday.
I know, we've lost the street. Fuck.
Yep. There we go. Back in action.
So we're looking for third place on the water, second place in the race. Looks to be Lazarus Capital Partners with Speg just behind them.
So all these blokes, Lazarus coming on an absolute screamer, same predicament as Andu had, squeezing hard to get in the bumpy water to get over Point Piper. Smeg hot on their tail. Lazarus got enough margin just,
You got Snag and Lazarus.
and Marcus fairly famous for good rough water handling. Yes, a spectacular day some time ago. A boat under ASCO sponsorship in a gale force nor'wester. Marcus on the stick doing a crash dive at the finish line in about 35 knots of wind. Here they go.
They look like they're going to lay that finish, and they're looking pretty good from where I'm sitting.
Joanna Harrison and Cam Gundy. They're good to go.
Oh, you said.
Oh no!
Oh,
Shot him.
Bucko. Shot him.
Shot him
Don't
dead.
mention anything
Okay,
about Smeg.
stand by.
Standing by. The fat lady was just warming up, wasn't she? Obviously. That was that was a big. They all okay?
Yeah.
3 heads.
Someone's hung up on the wire though. That's the only problem. They're
He's
off.
just off now.
There's Smeg
Wow.
across.
Oh.
Next is coming in hot is Noakes.
So Smeg is now third on the water, second in the results.
And Noakes
And then-
absolutely at the limit.
And they've got to get their spinnaker on. They're not going to lay the committee boat here.
No, they hung up.
You stay on, mate.
Oh no, they're okay.
Going to make it.
Yep.
Finport coming in hot behind them.
Bow comes up 20 degrees when you let it go, Pat.
Back on the film.
Finport.
Well. So,
Well, there you go. The sniper was in operation.
oh, Bucko.
Do you want to borrow him for the week, Pat, for anyone in particular? Or you good?
Well, Jimmy, you remember the time I can't remember, was it the Gilman race, where 4 leaders went in the drink in the last, this exact part of the race, a day very similar to today. We awarded the trophy 3 times, and then, we just gave up and went, oh well.
Here's the Royal Oak. Talking about flying, Aaron.
And a bit too much bang on, and a bit too much jib on, and come on, boys. You're making it a bit too unsafe. And is that the bloody Prince?
The Prince.
Oh, go Team Germany. But hang on, Royal Yoke.
Royal Oak has got plenty on
The
here.
Royal Lake taking plenty of risk.
The boys on Lazarus Capital sitting there with the best vantage point other than on the camera kit.
Correct.
And the Prince.
The Prince and Machiavelli going to come in 6.
Let's get the boat.
Here we go. Vintech sale sign, but Team Germany. Heinrich of
Heinrich.
Bayern, Thomas Martin, and Andy Martin. Unbelievable.
So they're going to finish 6th place here today.
Unbelievable effort. Incredible.
Congratulations
That's awesome.
to Team Germany.
Now, where is 7th, Your Majesty? Oh, no, they're coming.
Fisher and Pikell, which was, I think, were one of the ones over, weren't they?
Just looking at this seaway here.
Yes,
Yeah,
they were.
Yeah.
So we may not see a flashing light for this one and a sound signal.
Looking at the seaway here, I don't think things are going to get any easier for these guys.
No. It's so similar to what happened a couple of years ago.
Make
Bumpy,
it quick, because I'm not sure about our camera.
bumpy, ebb, awkward, tired, and a difficult angle, tight angle in. So no chance of just taking it a bit easy. Got to sail at full pressure.
Right, let's give it anyway.
Fisher and Pike all in dangerous territory now, trying to drop. Tack line not off, so it'll be untidy. Oh, they're not
I
going to
think
drop.
they're just going to rag their whole way through here, I think.
That's also got some risk involved.
Plenty of risk involved.
No, they'll get there. They'll be right.
Sam Monkhouse filling in on that boat. Bucko, very famous
Yeah,
skiff
yeah.
name, the Monkhouse family.
Absolutely.
Ah, right.
Gilman winners from, I've forgotten, but yes.
I reckon Pat would be able to tell you.
So, no hooter.
I bet you he would.
Rag.
I'll get my
Here
people
comes-
to look into it.
Here comes the Rag and Famish.
So they've recovered from their capsize up at the top mark the second time around.
It was Tugara, I think, was the name of the boat, Pat.
1964, I believe.
Nice work.
God, you got good memory, Pat.
Wow. That was 11 years. Oh, it was more than 11 years than I was born. Jeez. How old am I?
That was from history lessons at St Augustine's. Remember
That's
they used to pull up the JJs for us?
They did. In between the cricket.
Yep.
So did the rag get it? Oh, I didn't see.
Didn't see if they got a horn.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah. So
That's
I-
about.
So that puts Rag and Famish in 7th place overall.
that's right. And two people, OCS, Fisher and Paykel and Tech 2.
Place coming down there, you can wrap it up if you want to.
There's Ilve, just rounding the Shark Island mark.
Yeah.
It's really been a tough day at the office here, hasn't it, boys?
Well, I mean, credit to the guys. We think there might have been 9 boats that have got around the Cairns without standing on the fin, and that's a bit higher, a bit better effort than we all speculated at the commencement of the race in, tough building nor'easterly with ebb tide. So I think, as the season wears on, the combinations get better and their ability to get around the corners without trouble increases.
We haven't had a stiff nor'easter like this with the lump and everything.
Play of the day pretty clearly goes to Team Germany.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. And I think play of the day number 2 goes to Sydney Harbour for looking its shining and tricky best. How are we going?
Mate.
And maybe you're only 1 point in the man of the match contest, Pat.
Well, I used to think also I loved seeing Andrew out there today. I thought they sailed a really nice race, used their boat speed, sailed cleanly. Their boat handling was really slick.
Yeah, and for a stuck together combination, that was also a good effort, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, top 7 officially, we think. Tech 2 unofficially first, but officially, Andu first, Smeek second, Noakes third, Finport fourth, Royal Oak fifth, Team Germany 6th, Rag and Famish 7th. Ilve coming into the finish will get 8th. I'm Andrew Buckland signing out on behalf of Pat and Jimmy and Dylan and Caleb and Sail Media in general. This has been a Sail Media production for the Australian 18 Footers League. Come and join us again next Sunday. Short course racing warm up for the Giltmans. Thanks everybody for listening.